Good afternoon and welcome to the bid opening for 24-25-055. Good afternoon. Welcome to the bid opening for 24-25-055 Fleet Parts and Supplies Re-Solicitation. My name is Lisa Padron, Purchasing Specialist 2.
My name's Alicia Morales, Buyer 1.
At this time, we are going to start the bid opening. It's a big file. Click on your downloads file. Go down. Right there. Okay, let's go back up. Try your documents. Click on your file where your name is. Just click there. Now go up to your search and start. There it is.
Our first bid is from Subaru Buick GMC. They have a bid form. No addendums acknowledged. It's just test. Bid items, they do have 40% on general automobile parts, transmission parts 40%, gasoline engine parts 40%, diesel engine parts 40%, general shop supplies 40%, restocking fee 35%, and percentage off catalog 40%. For tab B, alternators and starters, they have AC Delco 40% strap on, snap on. Then GM OEM 40% strap on, snap on. And then belts and hoses and clamps. GM OEM 40% snap on. Brake pads and shoes. GM OEM 40% snap on. Brakes, drums, and rotors. GM OEM 40% snap on. Brakes, calipers, GMC OEM 40% snap on. Clamps and thermostats, GM OEM 40% snap on. AC Delco 40% snap on. Electrical and ignition, AC Delco 40% snap on. GM OEM 40% snap on. Emission and exhaust, AC Delco 40% snap on. GM OEM 40% snap on. Filters, air, fuel, oil, AC Delco 40% snap on. Gaskets and seals, AC Delco 40% snap on. Heating and air conditioning, AC Delco 40% snap on. GM OEM 40% snap on. Power steering pumps, GM OEM 40% snap on. Pumps, fuel and water, AC Delco 40% snap on. GM OEM 40% snap on. Steering and suspension, AC Delco 40% snap on. Universal joints, AC Delco 40% snap on. Wipers, GM 40% snap on. Wheels accessories, GM OEM 40% snap on. Spark plugs and wires, AC Delco 40% snap on. That would be residential preference. Insurance. Step.
Try that one.
should be the right here, this one. Siddons Martin Emergency Group LLC. Bid form. Zero addendums acknowledged. Table A, general automobile parts, 0%, transmission parts, 0%, gasoline engine parts, 0%, diesel engine parts, 0%, general shop supplies, 0%, restocking fee, 20%, non-stock parts, percentage of catalog, 0%. Residency preference. Casa Auto Group, Casa Ford, zero addendums acknowledged, bid form. General automobile parts, list 23%, transmission parts, please see flyer. Gasoline engine parts, list 23%, diesel engine parts, list 23%, general shop supplies, NA, restocking fee, no charge, percent off catalog, list 23%. Alternators and starters, Motorcraft 23% enclosed, Ford OEM 23% price CD.
That no.
Oh, C enclosed price CD.
Or FordParts.com.
Oh,
And it's gonna be the same note for all of them.
brakes, Microcraft 23%, Ford OEM 23%, clamps and thermostat, Microcraft 23%, Ford OEM 23%, electrical and ignition, Motorcraft, 23%, Ford OEM 23%, emission and exhaust, Motorcraft 23%, Ford OEM, 23%. Filters, air, fuel, oil, Motorcraft, 23%. Gaskets and seals, Motorcraft, 23%. Ford OEM, 23%. Heating and air conditioning, Motorcraft, 23%. Ford OEM, 23%. Lamps, lighting, and mirrors, Ford OEM, Motorcraft, 23%. Power steering pumps, Motorcraft, 23%. Ford OEM, 23%. Pumps, fuel, and water, Motorcraft, 23%. Ford OEM, 23%. Steering and suspension, Motorcraft, 23%. Universal joints, Motorcraft, 23%. Ford OEM, 23%. Wipers, Motorcraft, 23%. Wheels and accessories, Ford OEM, 23%. Spark plugs and wires, Motorcraft, 23%. Table C, heavy duty parts, Ford lists 23%, Motorcraft lists 23%. Insurance, Neo part, bid form, zero addendums acknowledged. General automotive parts, 70%. Transmission parts, 70%. Gasoline engine parts, 70%. Diesel engine parts, 70%. General shop supplies, 70%. Restocking fee, 25%. Percentage off catalogs, 70%. Brakes, pads, and shoes, Bendix, 70%. Meritor, 70%. Brakes, drums, and rotors, Meritor, 70%. Heavy duty parts, Bendix, 70%. Meter, 70%. Webco, 70%. So, catalog.
To the right.
This one?
To the right.
Oh,
Down one, right there. Should be. You've got an error message on here. Try, go back to that email. Now try again.
Dodgett Freightliner of South Texas. South. Zero addendum acknowledge, bid form. Have a general automo parts, 20%, transmission parts, 20%, gasoline engine parts, 0%, diesel engine parts, 20%, general supplies, shop supplies, 0%, restocking fee, 15%, percentage off catalogs, 0%. Bearers at balls and rollers, Timmick, 20%. National, 20%. Belt, hoses, and clamps, Gates, 20%. Brake pads and shoes, Bendix, 20%. Eaton, 20%. Meritor, 20%. Brakes, drums, and rotors, wait, 20%. Meter, 20%. Gaskets and seals, National, 20%. Universal joints, Spicer, 20%. Heavy duty parts, Ellison, 20%. Bendix, 20%. Chicago Rawhide, 20%. Cummins, 30%. Detroit Diesel, 20%. Delson, 20%. Eaton, 20%. Fleet Guard, 30%. Gates, 20%. Rope, 20%. Meteor, 20%. Monroe, 20%. National, 20%. Spicer, 20%. Stemco, 20%. Truck Life, 20%. Velvet, 20%. Wabco, 20%. Wagner, 20%. 20%. And that's done. Kraken,
It's,
Craig,
Craig and Tiger.
and Tiger Supplies, Inc. Bid form, 0 addendums acknowledged. Table A, general automo parts, 5%. Transmission parts, 5%. Gasoline engine parts, 5%. Diesel engine parts, 5%. General shop supplies, 5%. Restocking fee, 5%. Percentage off catalog, 0. Bearing balls and rollers, BCA, 5%. Tycum, 5%. National, 5%. Filters, air, fuel, oil, AC Delco, 5%. Motorcraft, 5%. WIC, 5%. Brand, 5%. MicroGuard, 5%. Gaskets and seals, AC Delco, 5%. National, 5%. C/R, 5%. Motorcraft, 5%. Ford OEM, 5%. GM OEM, 5%. Universal Joints Precision, 5%. Spicer, 5%. Master Pro, 5%. Napa, 5%. AC Delco, 5%. Motorcraft, 5%. Heavy Duty Parts, Chicago Rawhide, 5%. Eaton, 5%. Gates, 5%. National, 5%. Spicer, 5%. Local preference. That residential preference. O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Bid form. One addendum acknowledged via email. pricing catalog. Table A, general automotive parts, lists less 41% or better. Transmission parts, lists less than 41% or better. Gasoline engine parts, 41 or better. Diesel engine parts, 41 or better. General shop supplies, list 41 or better. Restocking fee, none if goods returned unless unused, undamaged, in original packaging and in reasonable condition. Otherwise, none. Percentage off catalog, less than 41%. %, or better. Microcraft, 41% or better. Ultima Select, 41% or better. Wilson, 41% or better. Bearers, balls, and rollers. Master Pro, 41% or better. Precision, 41% or better. Belts, hoses, and clamps. Gates, 41% or better. Master Pro, 41% or better. Brakes, pads, and shoes. Webesto Brake Best, 41% or better. Performance Friction, 41% or better. Motorcraft AC Delco, 41% or better. Brakes, drums, and rotors. Unit KIC, Webestos, less 41% or better. Motorcraft, Brake Best HD, 41% or better. Brakes, Calibers, Best Brakes, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. AC Delco, 41% or better. Clamps and thermostats, Stant, 41% or better. Murray, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. AC Delco, 41% or better. Electrical, ignition, AC Delco, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 40% or better. Auto Life, 41% or better. Champion NGK, 41% or better. Master Pro, Import Direct, Dorman, 41% or better. Standard, 41% or better. Emission and exhaust, AC Delco, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. Walker, 41% or better. Dorman Bosch, Denso, 41% or better. Nixon, 41% or better. Magnaflow, 41% or better. Filters, air, fuel, oil, AC Delco, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. Wix, 41% or better. Microguard Select, 41% or better. Mobile One, 40% or better. K&N, 41% or better. Royal Purple, 41% or better. Gaskets and seals, AC Delco, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. Val Pro Mail, 41% or better. Master Pro Precision, 41% or better. Heating and air conditioning, Murray, 41% or better. Lamps, lights, and mirrors, Roach, 41% or better. Truck Life, 41% or better. Savalia, 41% or better. Eco, 41% or better. Optronics, 41% or better. Power steering pumps, A-1, Pardone, 41% or better. Master Pro, 41% or better. Pumps, fuel, and water, AC Delco, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. Murray, Master Pro, Precision, 41% or better. Steering and suspension, Moog, 41% or better. Monroe, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. AC Delco, 41% or better. Master Pro, Precision, KBYB, Dormain, Rancho, 41% or better. Universal Joints, Precision, 41% or better. Spicer, 41% or better. Wipers, Trico, 41% or better. Rain X, 41% or better. Bosch, 41% or better. Wheels Accessories, Perfect Equipment, 41% or better. Doorman Extra Steel, 41% or better. Standard, 41% or better. Schrader, 41% or better. Sparks, Plugs, and Wires, AC Delco, Champion, Microsoft, Motorcraft, Autolife, or Bosch, NGK, Denso, Ultima Select, Omni Sparks, 41% or better. Heavy duty parts, Mendex, 41% or better. Cole, Percy, 41% or better. Gates, Master Pro, 41% or better. Rote, Optronics, 41% or better. Monroe, 41% or better. Motorcraft, 41% or better. Spicer, 41% or better. Sylvania, 41% or better. Brake Best HD, 41% or better. Domain Standard, 41% or better. KIC Web Precision, 41% or better. OE Turbo Power, 41% or better. Ray Bestos, 41% or better. Wilson Ultima Select, 41% or better. World America, 41% or better. Murray Master Pro, 41% or better. Wix Micro Guard, 40% or better. Orbillion Enterprise LLC. Bid form. One addendum acknowledged. Table A, pricing, percentage off catalog, 10% off pricing sheet, Federal Signal. Lamps, lighting, and mirrors, Federal Signal, 10% off pricing sheet provided. Quality Buick GMC by D. Lorenzo. Bid form, zero addendum acknowledged. Table A, general automobile parts, 25%, transmission parts, 25%, gasoline engine parts, 25%, diesel engine parts, 25%, restocking fee, 10%. Alternators and starters, GM OEM, 25%, bearings, balls, and rollers, GM OEM, 25%. Belt, hoses, and clamps, GM OEM, 25%. Brakes, pads, and shoes, GM OEM, 25%. Brakes, drums, and rotors, GM OEM, 25%. Brakes, calipers, GM OEM, 25%. Caps and thermostats, GM OEM, 25%. Electrical and ignition, GM OEM, 25%. Admission and exhaust, GM OEM, 25%. Filters, air, fuel, oil, GM OEM, 25%.
AC Delco.
LC Delco, 25%. Gaskets and seals, GM OEM, 25%. Heating and air conditioning, GM OEM, 25%. Lamps, lighting, and mirrors, GM OEM, 25%. Power steering pumps, GM OEM, 25%. Pumps, fuel, and water, GM OEM, 25%. Steering and suspension,
It's gonna be the GM.
GM OEM, 25%. Universal joints, GM OEM, 25%. Wipers, GM OEM, 25%. Wheels and accessories, GM OEM, 25%. Spark plugs and wires, GM OEM, 25%. CT Rush Inc., DBA Mighty of El Paso. Bid form, zero addendums acknowledged. Filters, air, fuel, oil, Mighty Auto Parts, air, 25%. Mighty Auto Parts oil filters, 35%. Wipers, Mighty Auto Parts wipers, 20%. Put their catalog price catalog. Safety Keen System, Inc. Bid form, one addendum acknowledged. Table A, price percentage off catalog, 7%. At their catalog. We are gonna check if there was any more submissions before the 2 o'clock deadline. There was no more bid submissions before the 2 o'clock deadline.
Thank you, and this closes the bid opening for 24-25-055 Fleet Parts and Supplies Re-Solicitation. Thank you.